a quick recap, okay, what the subject is all about. Hmm? As you all know, this syllabus has been divided into 5 blocks. So first, I would like to give you a brief about what actually ICT and new media is, and why do we call it as new media. And because this is a very important thing as we are talking about a new media, and especially new media, here the newness of the media is completely justified. Okay, because it is very subjective, and there are questions that can we call it a new media? Like, why do we call it a new media, and then how it is different from the traditional form of media? Okay. So this is also very important when we are talking about new media and when we are saying there is a medium which is new. So how it is different from the traditional medium. So also we will be talking about the potential of new media. Also we'll be discussing about the new media landscapes. Okay, because now there are a lot of people who are connected to internet, people who are there on social media. So we also need to understand the media landscape, which is also, transformed media landscape, we can call it as, because this is happening because of the convergence of new media. So can anybody tell me what is new media?
OTT, online.
Yeah, which is driven by internet, right? New social media platforms, new media. See, earlier when we used to talk about the media and traditional media, I mean the conventional media, we used to talk about the different medium in isolation, which means that there was a print media, right? It had a different category. Then there was an audio visual media, that is the electronic media, television, which had a different category. That means we had picture and sound, right? And in
only sound में
we have text, images. Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
yes madam.
Okay.
Oh.
So here when we are talking about new media, we are talking about the convergence, which means that the printed form, the images and sounds, which were totally different categories earlier. But in new media, for instance, here the internet, web media, as you said, the social media, okay, it constitutes all of these media forms. So when we are talking about new media, it's not particularly, not one media or technology which we are talking about. Here we are talking about different categories, right? When we are talking about the new media, we are talking about the packaging of information here. That means the new way of offering information to our target audiences. So what is ICT and how it is impacting different industries? And we'll also be discussing about okay, so let's start with the basic definition of what ICT is. So as you all know, ICT has 3 words or 3 letters, which starts with information, communication, and can anybody talk? You have learned in your first semester, right? Information. What is information? See, information is the knowledge that is obtained from reading or from investigating, study, research, or through your observation. Whatever you observe, you'll be getting some knowledge, right? That is information. Then we have another term, that is communication. Now, as you are a communication student, you all are aware that communication is the act of transmitting messages. And here it is a process whereby information is exchanged between individuals or group of individuals, right? Then most important, technology. What do you understand by technology?
Latest trends to the traditional trends, the equipments, the technicality involvement. audio, video, digital, radio.
Am I audible?
Now you are back.
Uh, okay, so technology here is the application of science. Science, right? Can you say that? Technology is the application of science which is used to solve problems, right? So putting all these three together, the information here can be, referred to all sorts of posts, text, and videos that are being shared and uploaded online. As you said, social media, right? For example, we have Facebook posts, right? What do we have in Facebook posts? We have messages that have been sent, right? We have pictures being uploaded, and then there is news which is being uploaded, and all of these can be considered as various forms of information, right? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So clear with the concept of ICT, right? And also in the last classes, we have talked about the transition from agriculture to industrial society and how we have moved on from industrial to information revolution, right? Which can be termed as primitive era, modern era, and internet era, respectively. Agriculture era is primitive era. Industrial era can be referred to as modern era, and the present society which we are living in is information society or information revolution is the internet era. Okay, so you all know, right, what is mass communication?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir, studying of mass communication. So tell me, what is mass communication?
So it is a process of transmitting information to a larger audience,
Large group of people.
like television,
Yeah, communication to the
newspaper,
masses, right?
radio.
Mm. Through all forms of communication channels, communicating to large audiences, as the name suggests. So here, all forms of external communication, right, which are theoretically accessible
दिख
to
रहा दिख
every.
रहा हाँ आया
So,
very good.
okay, all forms of external.
Ma'am, we lost you again. You are not audible.
Here to ignore the message which is irrelevant, and also sometimes it is, if you talk about the conventional media, I'm not talking about the new media here. Conventional media like print or electronic media, here it is not possible to customize the message for individual receivers, right? Because we are catering to large number of audiences, which are here the message is not custom. The audio is to keep mass communication. Okay, then what is the goal of using media vehicles here? Because we have to convey a message, right? So what is a message? Message is a communication or the content, once intend to send to the receiver. I mean the sender sending a content to the receiver, right? He wants the receiver, his intention is to send a content to the receiver in order to understand and also receive feedback. It is very important. So here in communication planning, when the mass media vehicles or the one who formulates the message in terms of, the in terms of communicating to the receiver, he has to keep in mind the, uh, ability of the receiver to receive and decode the message. I'm talking about the SMCR model here, which is applicable. Okay, you have to understand, the capacity of the receiver. Because you have heard, right, in the first semester, the medium is the message.
Yes.
Can anyone tell me what is medium is the message? What do you mean by that? Okay, tell me whether the medium, you understand, right? Medium is the vehicle, mass media vehicle, platform. I mean, television, radio, internet. This is known as medium. So whether the message decides the medium or medium decides the message.
Message decides the medium.
Yeah. Very good. So that is why it is known as medium is the message. So here there is a communication theorist, Marshall McLuhan. Okay, he defined this central idea of communication. He demonstrated that each media, whether it is print, radio, or television, it is connected with a different pattern, or we can say different arrangement among different senses, right? What do you mean by senses? Senses in medium. Television is eyes and hearing and watching, right?
Yeah.
Eyes and ears. What is radio?
Hearing.
Hearing, right?
Listening. Right.
What is
audio visual?
print?
Writing. Sorry, touch. Touch is
Print,
also
watching
and also
reading.
seeing. Yeah. So here, each medium defined, is categorized depending upon the senses, which results in different perception of the audiences, right? Illiterates prefer radio. Am I right?
Ma'am, we lost you in the middle, ma'am. We are not able to analyze you. Where are we stopping and where are we continuing?
Okay, no, I am here. I am asking about the different, senses of the medium.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm talking about which medium is used by which kind of people.
Yes, last we spoke about print.
Print, right? So I'm talking about literate, semi-literates audiences. Okay. Which medium they would prefer? Illiterates,
Radio is the largest Mann Ki Baat widely published.
Then, I'm not talking about program or format. Audiences. How do we define the audiences? As we discussed, medium is the message, right? If you want to communicate to illiterate audiences or literate audiences, which medium you would prefer? Of course, literates, all the mediums can be used for them. For illiterates, we can use radio. Of course, there are other traditional forms of media as well, but we're particularly talking about the print, AV, audio, video, and radio in terms of conventional media.
Okay.
See, for example, if you're talking about a literal message of a radio report, okay, we're talking about a radio report of a disaster, or you can say about a flood, and the television coverage of the same event. It may be identical, right? But the event will be perceived differently depending upon the medium and depending upon the audiences, and take on different meaning because the two media arrange the senses differently, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Are you getting my point?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
How it is perceived differently? The same event, it is identical. The presentation is also same, but it is perceived differently. How? Depending upon the senses, right?
Yes.
In audio, in television report, you have visuals, right? You can see, and you can get a glimpse of what is happening. But in radio, it's all imagination, right? You create pictures. It will create pictures in your mind. So here the different people, different audiences perceive differently depending upon the choice of medium. So here, that's why we say the message is very important, right?
Okay.
So do you think radio is, I'm talking about this disaster report of a disaster event or flood. Do you think radio is the perfect medium or television?
We cannot conclude which one is perfect, but we can always broadcast in different mediums where you audience can analyze and get it, because it depends on the background, the experience, the personal experience, situational factors, self opinion, moods, emotions, and other things, right?
Right. So it depends upon the audiences as well. To the audiences, whom do you want to cater? I think you have learned about news values. Right? News values. You remember any news value?
Yeah.
Remember proximity?
Yeah, conflicts and the geographical conflicts or the timelines.
Yeah, timeliness, conflict. So in this proximity means the nearness, right?
Yep.
See, we have incessant rains here, continuous rains, and it will be continued for further days. So, do you think people in Delhi would be interested to see a television coverage on this issue, or people in residing in Hyderabad or Telangana would be more interested to see the visuals?
Local news audience will be more interested.
Proximity, right? Nearness. Local audiences would prefer watching. So, all the local channels, right? The Telugu, the regional channels will broadcast in television with the visuals. So it depends on the news, the choice of the, medium depends on the message, and the message also depends on the news values.
Got it, ma'am.
Clear? So here mass media denotes a section of media which specifically it is designed to reach a large audiences, right? So here mass media was coined in the year 1920s, which included nationwide all these radio networks, then mass circulation of newspapers, magazines, Those were the conventional media at that time before the advent of television. Then we also had some forms of books such as mass media books. We had manuscripts, journals, which had already been in use for centuries, right? Then here, now mass media also includes internet media when we are talking about new media. So what are, the internet media here? As you told, social media, we have, what are the tools? Blogs,
The websites or
websites, blogs.
podcast,
In audio format, we have podcasts. Yes. Then we have video sharing
email as well,
platforms,
YouTube.
email, social media, social networking, social media apps. So all these, what are these?
Medias, internet media.
Which media? New media,
New
right?
media.
Yeah, internet media or new media. Mass media this also reaches mass media, but we term it as new media. Why? Can anybody tell me? I have told in the last 3 classes or 4 classes continuously. Why do we call it as new media? Why we still call it as new media? Internet has been launched years ago, right? But why still we call it as new media?
Maybe with a broad range of opportunities with respect to digitalization.
Yeah.
Instantly we can send message.
Yes, here with the advancement of technologies, here internet is, the technology is ever evolving, right? ICT. Every day there is constant upgradation. If you use any app, for example, WhatsApp or Zoom app also application, every day there are new features being added. There is upgradation, right?
Got it, ma'am.
Here the change is inevitable, right? With the technological advancement, there are a lot of features being added. So that's why the newness of the media is always, changing. It means it is always constantly evolving. So
Consumption
that's the
habit.
reason we call it as, yeah, people consume and everyday new features has been added. There are new apps now with the advent of AI. AI is the future, right?
Oh.
Lot of new trends. It has entered in the newsrooms as well. Artificial intelligence. Okay.
Okay.
So here, the communication audiences in this, internet society, it is being viewed by some the theorists or communicationists as mass society with special characteristics. What are the characteristics means? We don't know who is our society, who are our audiences, right? We are not sure in large audiences. I told you, no, there are mix of people who are literate, semi-literates, illiterate. So we are not sure. So we have to design and convey a message to all the mass society. You're getting my point? So how do we do that? There is something known as demassification of mass media. You all know what is demassification? Have you heard the term demassification?
Yes, ma'am, in first semester.
First semester, right? Do you remember? What do you mean by demassification?
I mean, same type of persons.
The meaning is nothing but breaking into different
Decline of mass culture.
dividing people into different categories. Demassification is to break into elements the people into different categories. How do we categorize? We have men, women, children, senior citizens, right?
Religion wise. Okay.
Huh? Yeah. No, that is demographic profile.
Yes, correct.
Different target audiences, different audiences. Demassification is to breaking into different categories or into elements.
Yes.
So here, communication media that reaches, all the niche audiences. You know what are niche audiences?
Specific genres, hobbies, or other guys.
No? Any examples? Niche audiences, as I just told you. We have Women's Era magazine for women, right? We
Hmm.
have Chandamama. You have
Shopping
heard
and
about
gaming.
children? Yeah. We are dividing audiences into different segments, right? Based
Separate
on their interest.
separate unit.
Yeah. Mm. Any examples? Any magazines or TV channels also, right? Reality shows for youngsters. How do we demassify audiences? How do we break audiences? Depending upon
Uh,
what?
First thing is niche audience, and then did the platform different platforms that are been consumed or adapted,
Mhm.
and
No, it is depending upon, we categorize them depending upon the common interest,
okay.
right? Common interest. What
Okay.
they would like to know, what the readers like to know. Not
Mhm.
only based on gender, but also on interest, right? Like politics, sports, different genres. In newspaper also we have different beats, right? We have
Yeah.
crime, politics, business, sports, entertainment. So based on individuals' interests, common interests, we divide into different categories. That means we demassify audience. So this is opposed to mass communication, right? How it is opposed to mass communication? In mass communication, we are not demassifying. We are not breaking the audience into different segments. We are catering to the same audiences, right? The homogeneous audiences. We are not dividing them. But when we are demassifying, when we are breaking the audience into different segments, we classify them based on their individual interest, common interest. So, demassification of mass media refers to restructuring of media industry into, we can say, smaller independent operating entities. Okay,
Okay,
I'll
madam.
give you the example. So, this can cut across almost all the major media platforms like print. In print, what we have newspapers, books, magazines, right?
Journals,
In film,
flyer,
also, yeah, journals you have. In films, what do we have? We have commercial films, parallel art films. Then we have documentaries, right?
sci-fi, tech,
Genres. And in broadcast, what do you have? Broadcast media.
live
Broadcast
events.
refers to both radio and television, right?
Yeah.
And again, in radio, you have different options. What do you have? Internet edition of radios. You have podcasts in audio
Okay.
medium. In television,
Netflix streaming services.
OTT platforms, right? We have different. That means what we are doing here. Why we have podcasts? Why do you have OTT platforms? What we are doing here now?
Demassification.
Yeah, we are dividing the audiences into different categories or segments to cater to their, better interest, to reach the specific target audiences, to communicate in a better way. So here the idea that the mass audiences is the largest number of people who can be assembled to hear mass messages is changing now, right? Earlier, they used to say mass media is heterogeneous. We cannot define who is our audiences. These all are the conventional definitions of mass media. But now it has changed. Now most media content is aimed at narrow and, narrow still large, but narrow segments of people. Now this phenomenon can be termed as demassification. Any doubts? It is an important question in terms of examination, demassification of mass media. Okay. You have to cite examples also, as we just discussed about magazines, right? You can also discuss about any radio programs, or you can discuss about films catering to different types of audiences that you can discuss. Any doubts here? Demassification? Clear?
So far, good, ma'am.
In last class or last semester also we have dealt with global village, right? Global village. Anyone remember? What do you understand? There are two terms, two words here, global village. You understand what is global, right?
Hmm.
Worldwide. Global means worldwide, right?
Yeah.
What is
www.
village? Yeah. What is village? Village, you all know. How do you define a village? What do you understand by when you hear the term village?
A boundary dedicatedly named.
Village is a place where people are connected, right?
Hmm.
People are connected in a, I mean, there is a small area, small geographical area, a village, right? And here people are closely connected to each other in a village. This is what do you understand when you heard, global and village, right? Worldwide. So
Hmm.
now try to connect these two terms, global village, as you told, World Wide Web. Yeah. Connect it with the term village.
I'm just bringing everyone under one roof through internet.
And so here the term global village is used to express the idea that people throughout the world are interconnected through the use of what?
Media.
Yeah, what? New
Internet.
media.
New
We
media.
call
New
it
media, internet.
new media technologies, right? People
Okay.
are connected to each other with the use of, yeah, internet is new media tool. New media tools is driven by internet.
Electronic communication.
Yeah, new media technologies.
Yes.
So in short, we can say that it is the world is considered as a single community linked by telecommunications. You're getting my point, right? We are connected to each other, linked by telecommunications. Like we can get in touch with people sitting here in Hyderabad. We can get in touch with people residing in US through what? We have
New
so
media.
many, huh?
New media, ma'am.
Yeah. We have so many platforms, right?
Yeah.
Through WhatsApp, through video call, video conferences. It is linked through telecommunications. So here one easy example of the global village concept is the internet, right? Internet is the tool. So having the internet on phones and access to free internet in libraries, we have Wi-Fi connections, right? Everywhere, libraries, cafes, outside also. People are easily able to connect internet via social media or these social media apps, platforms, and also email to people around the world, right? To the close ones, to friends. And also you are able to make new friends with the use of internet as a tool. So here being truly part of the global village means being connected to the worldwide communication network. You are connected to the people. Now communicating to people, earlier how do you used to communicate to people living abroad or your close one before the advent of internet? How do you used to communicate?
Letters.
Letters. So how much time? Imagine it used to take, you have to write letter, you have to send, then the other person has to receive the letter, then he has to respond, then again he has to send, then you have to receive the letter. How much time consuming it was, right? But now you're sitting at the comfort of your home, you can easily interact, you can have face-to-face interaction, right, with the people. And also we can be easily be aware of all the happenings which is going on throughout the world. We can see the live footage, right, of all the happenings around the world. So this makes it possible to know what's going on anytime, anywhere. So this kind of awareness can be very exciting, right? But all these technologies, they also have their side effects also. You all know what are the pros and cons.
Hmm.
Everything comes with this. Every advantage has some disadvantage or limitations, right? People, what are the limitations? What are the cons here?
Cyber,
Advantages we have discussed. Yeah, cybercrime.
um,
Another other,
misleading the audiences,
privacy.
privacy.
Yeah, yeah, privacy aspect, and then addiction.
Uh,
Students, people getting addicted, to social media platforms and spending a lot of time on social media. People
Market.
today, they don't wake up and they just wake up and they you know watch their mobile phone, they open their apps, they start their day with a phone, right? They're so much
Reels,
addicted to,
reels, Instagram reels.
yeah, reels, social media. So all these information are algorithm based, and this is according to a research where people have found out that internet, this new media technologies have more disadvantages now on youngsters than advantages. So it's up to us how we use this new media technologies for our benefit and to benefit the society. So you should, you know, be aware. That's why you have this media literacy subject in your next semesters. I think you have in your fourth semester, right? Media literacy. So here, this global village term was coined by noted media scholar Marshall McLuhan. He has coined the concept of global village. So this is also an important question in short answers. Global village. Okay. Clear? Any doubt?
मैम अभी कौन से चैप्टर में है मैम अभी?
No, we have completed this in offline classes. I am just giving a overview of what all we have discussed, and then I'm not going by chapter wise or unit wise. I am just, clearing all the doubts which you all have all missed in the offline classes, right? Many of you were not present.
अच्छा अभी पेज नंबर
Some
17
important concepts, and then I'm taking, one by one, from examination point of view.
हाँ ओके
Okay. So first you have to understand, right, what is ICT. Many students have doubt about the term, about this concept, the subject, because it's little technical. So you're clear, right?
हाँ
Once you're
yes
clear, then we can move ahead.
yeah correct
So see, you see this three letters ICT everywhere, right? We have application of ICT everywhere, particularly in all the fields like education. So now we have to understand what does it mean, right? Because this is a fast changing subject. As I told you, the technology is ever evolving. There are a lot of new things that have been added every day. So the subject is also a little technical. So don't expect straight questions in the examination. You have to cite examples, understand the question, read it twice and thrice, and then understand and write.
okay ma'am thank
Okay. So ICT is used in not only in communication but in all the fields, right? What are the in business organizations, education? What are the other fields? You can say ICT being used. Example. You all are from different fields, right?
like, right now what we are doing e-learning is also ICT right
Yeah, education,
in healthcare also
healthcare,
government is also using ICT
e-governance, yes.
and obviously the entertainment
So here a good way to think about ICT is to consider all the uses of digital technology that already exist to help individuals or business and other, organizations, not only media, but different organizations, how they use information and tackle. So ICT covers, any product that will store or retrieve. We can also manipulate, edit and change, transmit or receive information electronically in a digital form, right? What do you mean by electronically? That means through the online, right? Through personal computers, through use of email. Now we have, AI, right? Robots. So
Hmm.
basically, ICT is concerned with the storage. You can store the data, retrieval. What do you mean by retrieval? Once you have stored the data, you can access the data. You can retrieve the data anytime. Manipulation means you can edit also, right?
Hmm.
Example is Wikipedia. You are aware, right? You can edit the information in Wikipedia.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so that is manipulation. That is editing. It can be for good or bad. That is different concern. But basically, it deals with storage, retrieval, manipulation. Then we have transmission. What is transmission? Transmission of data. Transmission is nothing but distribution, right?
Sending or receiving, right? No?
Distributing, sending or receiving of digital data. Important.
From
Digital.
one location to other location over a network.
Yeah. So importantly, it is also concerned with the way these different users can work with each other, like how people can use all this information for their benefits. In IT, we have a lot of technical terms. As we go ahead in other classes, we'll be discussing about cloud computing and other tools, which is used to store the data. So first understand what is ICT concerned with. So it is concerned with storage, storing of data, right? Retrieval, manipulation, transmission of what? Digital data. Digital data means electronic form. So here, in the more recent time, the fast-growing range of digital communication technologies, like which we are talking about, what does it do is allows people and organizations to communicate and share information digitally. This is important. Digital information. So, what type of products we have in ICT? Computer-based technologies. Earlier in traditional computer-based technologies, what applications we have? When you open your computer, what do you find? Standard office applications. What do you find? Word processing, right?
Yes.
Microsoft Word, where you can write anything, right? Letters, reports, etc. Then you have spreadsheets. What is example of spreadsheet?
Excel, CSV.
Yeah, Microsoft Excel, where you can analyze the financial information,
Quotations.
any numerical data calculations.
Macros.
Yeah. Database software like Oracle, Microsoft Server. Then
Calculations.
yeah, it is used for calculation, creating models, and then presentation softwares. What do you have?
PowerPoint.
Yeah, Microsoft PowerPoint,
WordPress.
WordPress. Then we have desktop publishing. Like we have softwares like Adobe InDesign, right? InDesign, Quack Express,
Corel
where
Draw.
you can use
Okay.
CorelDRAW, produce newsletters, magazines, and other complex documents. Then graphics. What applications we have?
Photoshop.
Adobe Photoshop and
Yes,
Illustrator,
you're correct, ma'am.
DTP, where you can create and edit images, right? You can create drawings or pictures for use in the DTP or websites, or you can for any other publication also you can use.
Digital marketing.
Yeah, then we have all those traditional, these are the traditional based computer technologies which we used to have. But now We have lots more, right?
Yeah,
What is the latest Chat GPT?
yeah, VFX.
What is it? How many of you use Chat GPT?
Finding answers to questions related.
What for what purpose you use? Anybody have used Chat GPT?
Yeah, it's for education.
Yes, ma'am. I use it frequently to write to get like if I write something, I usually do my plagiarism check in ChatGPT, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
It
So
can be
you
used
use
in
it
many
for
sectors.
official purpose, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, what is your experience? Is whether it has made your job easier, or I mean, there is dearth of information available. What does it do? It nothing but it brings you closer to all those information, right? At
Yes,
one
ma'am.
place. So, has it made your job easier or more complicated?
It has made easier, but there are pros and cons of it, ma'am.
And there are plagiarism issue also, I believe.
Not plagiarism issue, ma'am, but I don't feel it's humanly connected, ma'am.
As we have learned in, artificial intelligence comes with their own pros and cons. So it cannot match with human intelligence, as we all know earlier. Also, we have discussed it. So here, the C part here. What is the C part of ICT? What is C in ICT?
Communication.
I mean,
Communication, right? So it refers to the communication of what? Data. Communication of data by electronic means. Usually, this is often achieved via, we can say we have network, right? Internet, from where you can send and receive what
Communication.
you can receive through internet, electronical transmission, what you can receive and send.
data.
Data.
Yeah, electronic data. You have to use the terms, technical terms, electronic,
Okay.
by means of electronic, right? It is known as digital data,
Yes. Through network cables and wireless.
wireless, yes, satellite links.
Yes.
Okay. So here the technologies involved in communication, here they tend to be very complex. So you certainly don't need to understand them for your ICT course here, but there are some sorts of digital communication that you need to be aware of. Okay, that we'll be dealing with. So these relate primarily to the types of network and the ways of connecting to the internet. This is very important, right? This is very basic, how to connect to internet. The technicality of the course depends on this. Let's look at how these terms they connect. It helps you to support the use of ICT. We have some terms, right? Have you heard about there are internal networks? What is internal network? Have you heard about local area network? LAN?
LAN. Yeah.
LAN.
Yeah, what is LAN?
Yeah.
In your
Ma'am,
understanding.
yeah,
Connection between two or more systems where the media data can be exchanged.
Yeah, this involves linking a number of hardware items, that means input and output devices plus the computer processing together within area, right? Within an office or within a building also, where you can connect two or more computers. So here, yeah,
Network distribution.
network distribution. So here, what is the aim here? The aim of LAN is
Divide
to be
internet connectivity.
It is to share hardware facilities. What is hardware here? Hardware facilities means such as printers, scanners, hardware devices, right?
Routers. Okay.
Yeah.
Routers, modems, servers.
Yeah. So this type of network is invaluable in the office environment. Mostly it is used for business purposes, where colleagues they need to have access to common data or programs, right?
Yes,
Internal.
companies. Yes,
Hmm.
Yeah, within a building, within a premises, office or college premises, internal data. So then there is external network, like local area network. We also have wide area network, WAN, right?
Yes.
WAN, wide area network. Here often you need to communicate with someone outside your internal network, right? When you are in office, you are able to connect to your colleagues and peers with LAN with the help of local area network. But sometimes you need to connect outside your internal network. So in this case, you will need to be a part of your wide area network, WAN. So here the internet is the ultimate WAN, we can say. That is the wide area network where you can reach. It is usually a vast network of networks. Understood? Vast network of networks. Internet. So, understood? Internal and external networks. Local area network is internal network. You don't have to have internet there, but you need to have internet in your wide area network, external networks, in order to communicate to people outside your internal network. So ICT in a broader concept, you can say that see, your ICT course will almost certainly cover the above examples of ICT in action, and also we'll be perhaps focusing on the use of key applications like all these spreadsheets and database presentation graphics and few softwares, also web design software. So it will also consider the some important topics that deal with the way ICT is used and managed in communication. Okay.
Okay.
So here is the nature of information. Information is the I in ICT, right? The first term, I. So this information, I covers topics such as meaning and value of information. We have to define what is information and what is the value of information. Information is important or not? We live in
Very
an information society, right? So what is the value of information? Information is
awareness.
invaluable, right? Yeah, awareness, whatever what purpose you're getting information. Information is invaluable. And
Mm.
also you have to deal with how information is controlled, right? That means you have lot of information available. And sometimes it needs to be managed. That means the limitations of ICT. I mean, the legal considerations have also to be, taken care of. You're getting my point, right? The legal consideration.
Yes,
In
yes,
order
yes.
to manage the information, to control the information, we need to have some sort of limitations that can be done through legal considerations. Then also, when you're talking about information, you'll have this. I mean, you will have an important question about information. What is information and what does information do? Please make a note of this question. So here, when you're talking about information, you have to write or you have to describe all these aspects of information. I mean, the nature of information, the management of information. I mean, this management of information will cover how data is captured electronically, then how it is verified and stored for effective use. We talked about the manipulation, right? I mean, the editing, then processing and distribution of information. Then keeping information secure is also very important. So all these things you have to elaborate. Managing of nature of information, why, I mean, how information is important, why information is important, the control of information and the limitations. And then we are managed, if you're talking about the management of information, the capturing of data, verification, storage, use, manipulation, processing, and the distribution of data. You have to talk about the management of information. And then information strategy also. I mean, this will consider how ICT can be used, I mean, within a organization, but I mean, media organization or any organization as part of achieving their goals and objectives. So, as you have understood, this ICT is a broad and fast changing subject. As I have told you, it's evolving. So, hope that you will be able to provide justice to this subject by constantly practicing. This is a practical subject. You have to I mean, I think you all have your social media accounts, right? In your offline classes also, I have asked this question. Are you available in social media platforms? Facebook, Instagram. If you don't have your accounts, please create an account. Use.
Mostly they are in our blood, ma'am.
Yeah, but you have to understand the technicality. Don't just blindly use it. Just see the trends. How do you create a Facebook post?
Yeah. By
You are
following trends.
and you keep posting, right? So how do you create a Facebook post? Can anybody tell me? This is a general question. How do you create a Facebook post?
Putting
This is just
our
question.
information, picture, data, or video, small clip or small reel.
You write right. You write a text.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
upload a picture.
We upload a
If you
picture
want to
generally.
upload a video. Yeah.
Yeah, in generally, if we go through the main page and we just write something and we just post, man.
Yeah. When you go to
We
your
can,
profile,
yeah, we go
you
to,
will find. Yeah. Yeah. Explain.
we
Explain to
go,
your friend.
yeah, we go to our profile. Then we can find something to write here. So we just click on it. We just type it, or we can use pictures, videos, or anything, and we can type it, and we can add hashtags. We can add a title to it, and just that's it, ma'am. We can post.
So you told about hashtags. So why do we use hashtags?
Yes, ma'am.
Engage audience.
To wide reachability, ma'am. These hashtags are used to reach the audience with specific what do you call
Interest.
specific interest and
Yeah,
specific
that we discussed earlier, right? Yeah, you have
yes, ma'am.
common interest. People with
A common
similar or
interest.
common interest.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Creating a group of specific or common interest. So keep posting, keep
Yes.
using all the social media platforms, social media apps, so that it will be easy for you to understand the technicalities of the subject, why it is being used, why we are discussing so much about all these social media platforms.
In my entire life, this is the first session where a active session is happening on to use social media post, keep posting.
Yeah. Earlier, you will be, I think you have heard people saying not to spend time on social media, not to use social media, don't waste time. But I told you everything comes with pros and cons. So you have to take the pro side of it.
Yeah.
Sripath is very active on social media. I think as his profession demands.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
yeah, you create your profiles on LinkedIn as well. See how each medium is different. LinkedIn is for professionals, right? It's a professional network.
Yeah. Primarily
Here,
professional and then
target
mix.
audiences are different.
Yeah.
It's entirely different from Facebook. Instagram again is a photo sharing application, right? We'll discuss in detail, okay, when we talk about new media in the coming unit. So let's talk about, you are clear about all this concept, right? You are basically clear about the concept of ICT definition, ICT and new media, why we are discussing or why we are talking about ICT in journalism with respect to communication, right? If you have any doubts, please let me know. Or shall we move ahead? Any doubts, anyone? Yes, speak up, be interactive.
So far, good from my end.
Okay. Anybody can stop in between if you have any doubts. Now, let's talk about the evolution of information and ICTs, information and communication technologies. And this evolution can be divided into 4 phases. Now we are coming to the technical part, the computers, the generations here. The first wave, I told you, right? 4 phases here. So in the four phase, the first was the mainframe phase. Mainframe phase, which was from the, I'll explain you in detail. First, just know about all these four phases. It was from the mid 1960s to the late 1970s. Okay. Then second was the microcomputer phase, which was from the early 1980s to the mid 1990s. Then we had the third. Third was the web phase. Okay. Web phase in the late 1990s. That was, I mean, after the phase of LPG. You know what is LPG, right? Liberalization, privatization, and globalization. You know, right? LPG.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, everybody should respond.
I thought LPG gas cylinder, ma'am.
No, no, LPG, globalization, liberalization. You are aware, right? Then
Not really. After you are repeating, I might
you want
remember.
me to, no, you want me to explain what is LPG?
Yeah, please.
Globalization. What is liberal? Okay, you know what is liberalization? Have you heard anytime? Liberalization, privatization, and I mean, you don't know, but have you heard about that? Or this is the first time you're hearing?
No, we in general we know those the common sentences that the trade and commerce where people are given and
Yeah, India made this, LPG reforms in post 1990. So these, I mean, LPG reforms, no, also known as liberalization, privatization, and globalization reforms, means they have transformed the way India as an economy works. That means they have opened the country, I mean, India, to the world for trade and commerce. The government of India was aware of this world trade economy, which was free of any obstacles, and then it made some recommendations to run it smoothly. They have opened the way for imports and exports. And Prime Minister PV Narasimha Rao, under the leadership of Prime Minister PV Narasimha Rao, LPG reforms were adopted in India, and it was in the year 1991. And Dr. Manmohan Singh was the finance minister at that time. So Manmohan Singh was the main person behind the idea of this LPG reforms. Okay, opening, paving way for trading, imports and exports. Am I clear?
Yes.
It's not that LPG fuel or gas I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about the economy. India has opened its way, paved way for the world economy, imports and exports. Okay, then the third was the web phase in the late 1990s. Then the fourth one is the digital phase, which we have entered now. Okay, so across these four phases, three key trends can be discussed here. Okay, the first is increased. I mean, we see these four trends. What we can see is the first one is the increased accessibility. Okay, I mean, coming from main phase fame to the digital phase, which we are now, we can see three changes or three trends. First is accessibility. The second is the interactivity. And third, any guess? Third one? Anybody? We have already discussed accessibility, interactivity, and connectivity. Right? We are more connected, right? We discussed in global village, right? the term global village. So three things: accessibility, interactivity, and connectivity. So now tell me, ICT is the technology, right? Technology required for, I'm reminding you again, it's for technology used for information. Remember these things: processing, storing, information storing, processing, what I told you, retrieval, manipulation, and transmission. Remember these five terms.
CRUD operations.
Yeah. Last is transmission. Through the use of,
Sharing. Okay.
yeah, sharing is transmission. Through the use of
Sharing.
what? Electronic device. This is the, definition, proper definition of ICT. Please remember, ICT is the tool or technology required for information processing, storing, processing, retrieval, manipulation, and transmission through the use of electronic devices. What are electronic devices? I told you, right? Devices, computers,
Lab.
communication devices, yeah, your mobile phone,
Smartphones.
Mobile phones,
laptops,
smartphones, laptops.
platforms. Yeah. And you can transmit and also retrieve. You can retrieve, right? You understand what do you mean by
Yeah, we
retrieve?
can retrieve
You can retrieve
information.
anytime.
We can
Yeah, you
access
can
once
retrieve.
again.
We can access once again, anywhere and anytime.
It is used in banking, agriculture, education,
Yeah,
schools.
it's used in almost all the sectors, but our focus is more on communication sector because we are journalism students. We are from journalism, so
Yes.
our focus is more on communication. IT is different here. ICT is different.
Oh.
It deals with communication. So you have to keep in mind the communication aspect here. So everybody okay with the definition?
Yes, ma'am.
Just make a note of this, okay? So information and communication technologies can be defined as part of our subject as collection of technologies. In short, collection of technologies, right? New media technologies. And also not only collection, but application. You have to apply also. What do you do? What will you do if you only collect the technologies? You have to apply also. So collection of technologies and applications which enable what? Processing. Tell me what are the five elements? Information storing, processing,
Retrieving, manipulation, updation.
manipulating, transmitting, and retrieving through the use of electronic means.
Digital device.
Yeah, digital device. Like examples. Device, computers, personal computers, laptop, yeah, smartphones, mobiles, other devices, right? So this is the definition. You just make a note of this. And ICTs can also be characterized by the speed of the technology, right? What do you mean by the speed of the technology? Technical term again, speed of the technology. What is
Innovation.
generally what is speed?
The
Speed is
fastness
the
or
time,
the rapid.
yeah, the time, right? The time taken to reach the destination. So now tell me what do you understand by speed here? We're talking about what?
2G,
Again.
3G, 4G.
Hmm?
2G, 3G, 4G, ma'am.
The speed, yeah.
The pace of technological advancements, ma'am.
Yeah, the speed in the sense, the connectivity, the time taken to travel. I mean, the time taken for a particular message to reach its destination. Yes. Connectivity.
Yeah, to the time taken to render the data.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So here, the speed of technology is important here. The connectivity is important. And how it is connected? The tool here is
Internet.
Digital.
correct. Good. Internet is the tool. So it is very important here. That means your connectivity should be proper. The speed. That's why you said, right? 2G, 3G, 4G, all these are advancement in technology. So these are additionally thanks to digitization. It is today possible to reduce all sorts of information and data to, in a single format, right? In different, you have in different applications, right? I told you I'll discuss in later classes, cloud computing and other things.
Web
So
design. Okay.
through this, yeah, through this information can be processed, stored, copied, and shared using different applications. And here it can travel, the data can travel seamlessly. What do you mean by seamlessly?
Freely and without
Efficiently, right? Without any disturbance.
corrupting. Yeah.
Continuous.
Yeah, seamlessly continuing without any disturbance, efficiently.
Yes, madam.
So this improved capacity is known as what? Broadband technology. Broadband. You have heard about this term broadband?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is what broadband is. Broadband refers to the speed.
ISP.
Yeah, speed, right?
Data high speed.
The speed through which the data is transferred efficiently is the broadband. Broadband technology.
Download and upload speed.
Yeah. Okay. So this is very important.
Generally, faster internet speed is called broadband.
Broadband. Yeah. So these all are what? Technological innovations, right?
Yes.
So these technological innovations, they have the potential to democratize the access and use of information, but at the same time they also represent a threat to equal access and information dissemination, because now many companies, and especially the private companies, they are willing to enter the new information economy. I mean, they want to exploit the potential benefits of for example, e-commerce. So in consequence, the amount of the protected information protected information is protected through what? Have some acts, right?
Security and access.
Copyright Act. You can use those information if you subscription, copyright, all these things are, means of protecting the information. So because you put all sorts of data on internet, so there is a threat of your information to be stolen, right?
Got it.
So here, these limitations I told you, right? The limitations, the ethical aspects or guidelines comes here.
That is a creator's original work. Copyright means.
Yeah. So your data is protected with the help of all these what? This is monitoring, right?
Yes.
The data is constantly monitored to tackle all these issues, because these are threats to equal access of information dissemination. We are talking about information all the time. So information is valuable, but it is also, I told you, right? The privacy aspect is also important.
It should not be duplicate without their permission.
Consent. So that's why we have Copyright Act. Subscription also is the same thing. If you subscribe, you will be able to access the information. That means you are you're monitoring your data, right? You're controlling.
Yes.
Who can view or who can use the data. Some information is not freely accessible, right? Some books only you can read the abstract, but you can just go through the contents. Unless and until you pay for it, only a trial version is available. So that is what? Monitoring of the data or information. That is very important.
Photographs.
Pictures, text, anything which is, individuals hard earned right copyright thing, because people do lots of research and they put the data in public domain. So people should not misuse that information, right?
Most of them share on online, madam. They post
Yeah.
the copyrights. Yes, madam.
If we are using anybody's data, you have to, what you have to do as an ethical consideration, you have to
Get
cite
their consent.
the
Yeah, get their
reference.
consent,
Report.
You have to
Report.
then make credit, right?
assignment.
Yeah, Vinod?
Get their consent, assignment, or licensing from them.
Yeah. And apart from that, you have to cite the references, right? You have to source from where you have taken the content also. Referencing is important here. So I told you, right? There are three kinds of massive revolution: agricultural, industrial, and we live in information revolution, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Internet and
yeah, information, digital world.
yeah.
See, when you're talking about these three revolutions, talking about the how we have come down, the transition has happened from agricultural to information. See, the second half of the 20th century, and particularly the last decade, we have seen a dramatic increase in the new age technologies, which we refer to as information age, or we can information society or knowledge society. Information is nothing but knowledge, right? So dearth of information leads to what? Knowledge. So
Yes.
our society, information revolution, can also be termed as knowledge society. All these things mean the same: information age, information revolution, or knowledge society. Here, the motive force behind this is the emergence of new media technologies, right? So broadly referring to as ICT. So these technologies, they are directly or they are indirectly transforming the society to a larger scale.
In both ways, madam.
Yeah, both negative, positive and negative, but we have to focus more on the positive aspects. Because the discourse surrounding these recent advances in these ICTs, they have been largely self-regulatory. I mean, there has no so far not much regulation on the content which is available on internet. So which has already led to knowledge society, right? People, how, if you don't have any, if you don't know any information, if you don't have confusion about any term, what do? You go to Google and you just type and search, right? You're
Yes.
getting the information. So an important consequence of this information revolution has been that people are convinced that they are more informed, right? How people are convinced they are more informed? They have one tool. What is that tool? Google search engine. They think, yeah, whatever information they don't have, they can get it through internet. So people are convinced that they are more informed. So because as a result of this dearth of information, they are bombarded with lot of information every day. If you search on Google, you get lot of data, right? For example, we have this All India Radio. Just put the acronym AIR. What information you get? You will get, if you directly just put AIR, Google will take it as
All India
that.
Radio. Okay.
No, you'll get results showing air pollution. You have to be very specific that you don't have to type AIR there. You have to type All India Radio, because we already have a word there, right?
Yes,
Air.
madam.
You'll get information related to air pollution.
Yes,
Or
madam. Air, composition, oxygen, nitrogen. It's
Search engine optimization has
but
to be
you're
done
talking here about All India Radio. So here you are bombarded with lot of information every day. So human intelligence is also required here when we are dealing with ICTs, right? You have to use your knowledge. You don't have to blindly copy and paste.
we have to see our subject related
That's
content.
okay. So if you discuss about the concept of information-based society, see the transition. I told you, what is transition? Transition is the change, right? The transition from an agricultural society. I told you agricultural society is nothing but the primitive society. To an industrial society. Industrial society is the modern society after the emergence of LPG, globalization. this phase was not in constant. The transition, the change from agriculture to industrial society, it took centuries. It took lot of time from people, to come from agriculture society to industrial society. But the change from an industrial society to one based on information, it didn't took lot of time. I mean, not centuries, but decades. The main engine for the change here has been the computer. How, see, mass production techniques, they have reduced the cost of computer power, because the computer can is also easily accessible now, and people can afford
Yes, sir.
a laptop or a computer. Even in
But
rural areas, people can easily
yes, sir.
afford. I'll send a article where there is a prediction that the penetration of internet in urban areas in India would be more than the percentage would be more than the urban areas. I'll share that link with you after the class. Just go through that. It's an interesting insight.
Sure, ma'am.
See, just I told you, industrial society. When did this industrial society happen? After the emergence of globalization. So globalization, I told you, it opened the way for what? Trading, right? For commerce. I mean, what? Import exports, right? So the industrial society was based on manufacturing. But the information society, it focuses more on the use of information as a resource. We say, right, content is the king. Likewise, information. Information is very valuable, invaluable. So the application of computers to business use is called information. Normally, what is IT? Information technology.
Yeah.
Use of computers in business is called information technology, right? But here we are talking about what? Communication. Communication means
Exchange of
communication,
information between.
right? Yeah, communication is nothing but information. So here we we are focusing more on information. This is known as the information age. And why it is happening? Because we have access to what?
New media,
We have
It-
access to
internet.
information.
Okay.
Yeah, to internet. So as we complete this course, you will be introduced to the skills needed to grow in this information society. How can we make use of ICTs? Okay. Any doubts here?
So far looks good.
Any doubts if you have in understanding the concepts? Because as we go ahead, we'll be more technical. We'll be discussing about virtual reality softwares, right? So first we have to be clear. What are these? Why are we studying this subject? Okay. And how this transition happens. All these things you need to have a clarity. Okay. So any doubts, please let me know. Otherwise, we can continue in the next class. We'll discuss more in detail about digital technology, digital devices, and convergence. Make a note of convergence. Convergence is important question. Short answers.
So far you mentioned what is information.
Yeah.
That is important, and convergence. Two questions are important. And
Yes.
global will three
Definition of
questions.
ICT. What is ICT? Of course, the subject itself. Yeah.
Global village, three questions. Four questions.
Yeah. So far what I have discussed is in viewpoint of examination point of view. Okay. So after that, this was just a quick revision also of the earlier classes.
Madam, there is one question named describe the detail in working of a VOD system.
Working detail of
VOD system in
okay,
short
that
answer.
is short answers.
Mm.
We'll discuss in the next class all these technical aspects also, because we didn't come to terms with that. It's in next unit.
Yes, okay.
Hmm? So far, and this three stages also, three revolutions: agricultural,
Industrial.
industrial, yeah, and in this these three revolutions important. It's I think for long answers. Discuss the three types of revolutions.
Mhm.
Okay. You have to cite examples also as you write. What examples? How we have moved on. In agricultural society, we focused more on what, and then industrial society, we focus more on manufacturing goods and services, capital, right? With the after LPG, after globalization, then the transition to information society with the advent of internet. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Then, if you don't have any doubt, then see you in next class
Thank you, madam.
next Sunday, 8.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You can get in touch with me if you have any doubts. You have my numbers and email ID, right?
Yes.
No, please, can you
You
please
get
get
in
it?
touch. I'll share it in the chat box.
Okay.
Okay. And just remind me, I'll be sharing that link with you, that article. Please go through that article. It's an interesting.
Definitely.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Then see you all. Just I have left my number and email ID in the chat box. If you have any doubt,
No, we
please
are
let
not
me
able
know.
to see them in the chat box.
I've just sent. Just check.
No, are you able to receive our messages in the chat box?
Yes.
Yeah, we received,
I,
madam. Just now I have seen
oh,
Now we
contact
are
number
able to.
and email ID.
Okay,
yeah.
got it. Yahoo domain, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. See you. I have your seniors class now. See you in the next class.
Please carry
Okay.
on, madam. Take care.
Okay.
Thanks
Bye.
for your time,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It was
Thank
really
you.
nice interactive session. Thank you.
Bye.